Well, hello there again, and welcome back to a wrestling prediction video, because the last time I was here was April for Wrestlemania, and it's been a month since then. Normally it's 2 weeks, but this time they decided to wait a month for another pay-per-view. So, a month for a video, I guess. And the pay-per-view for tomorrow is called Wrestlemania Backlash. Now, this is an annoying name, considering up until this point, WrestleMania Backlash has only just been known as Backlash. Because from, I think, 2000 to 2009, it used to be the first post-WrestleMania pay-per-view, so it's just called Backlash. Then afterwards, it was moved a bit, so it still existed, but it moved about a bit, but it wasn't after WrestleMania, so. But this time, it's the first time it's been the first one, so they're calling it that. Because last year it was Money in the Bank, but they didn't call it WrestleMania Money in the Bank, did they? No. So that would be weird. So why do it now? Nobody knows. Anyway, there are 6 matches on the card currently. I have a feeling that there might be an impromptu Sheamus match. But yeah, from these, there's 6. And so I'll go through these and then I'll say my Sheamus one afterwards, if need be. Right, so I'll go from the bottom to the top because I feel like the top might be the main event. Actually, no. Bear with it. So, the first match that I'm going to talk about is Damian Priest versus The Miz. And this is a lumberjack match, meaning that a bunch of other wrestlers who aren't really doing anything will be around the ring, preventing any of the wrestlers in the ring from leaving the ring. And because this is a gimmick match, you'd expect Miz to win by shenanigans, with Morrison being part of the Lumberjacks and trying to pull him out. But Damian Priest needs this, because Bad Bunny's gone, so Priest needs this win. Because at the moment, all he's doing is throwing tomatoes, and that is not a good place for him to be. You need him to win, and then, after Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash, I'll just call it Backlash, Damian Priest should go into the US title picture. And then you'll have Priest versus Sheamus, which would be a nice, thing to do. Be great. Yeah, so I think Damian Priest has to win this, or else his whole push from when he was brought up from NXT to now has been kind of wasted, because they're just, making The Miz win, so I don't know. I guess so. The next match I'm going to talk about is the Dirty Dogs, which is Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, or the Top Dogs, as Michael Cole calls them. It's Michael Caine. They're not the same. And they are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and they're going against the Mysterios, which consists of Rey and Dominic, who are father and son. And I'm going to go for Rey Mysterio and Dominic to win this one, because the Dirty Dogs have had it for quite a while, and they're hyping this up to be the first father and son tag team to ever win the tag team championships. So I assume this will be a great match. I mean, they've probably had this match, but they've had this match before on SmackDown. But that's the problem with the SmackDown title picture, is that they're all good matches. It's just that they're showing them too much, in that you've got 4 tag teams. You've got Chad Gable and Otis, the Street Profits, the Dirty Dogs, and Rey Mysterio and Dominic. They keep showing a variation of these 4 together, and then sometimes they have all 4 together. So, 4 horsewomen. Yes. But yeah, I feel like Rey Mysterio and Dominic will win this one, because Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode have actually done a great job, because Dolph Ziggler hasn't really been relevant for about, how many years? It's now 7 years? Since Survivor Series 2014. He hasn't really done much. Really. I mean, 2016 he started to, when he had the whole retirement angle with Miz. That was good. But apart from that, nothing. So they've done good things. They'll have the championships again, but I think for now we'll have a title change for Rey and Dominic. The next one is Rhea Ripley versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair, which is for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, originally this was Rhea versus Asuka, and then Charlotte Flair did some. Well, she attacked a ref, got suspended. Sonya Deville brought her back. Charlotte got into this match like she's done so many times, like with the Carmella Becky Lynch match, the Ronda Rousey Becky Lynch match, and this is the third time that that's happened now, that she's been placed into a title picture. And the annoying thing is that you always expect that when Charlotte's in a match and it's for a title, you're always worried she's going to get it. Because she's a wonderful wrestler. It's just they keep booking her to just keep winning titles. And it's like, it's not... Well, like The Undertaker didn't have that many titles. But he had like a story going through that he was a spooky dude. And that's what he was. Like, Charlotte Flair has just become the carbon copy of Ric Flair, and that they're going to keep giving her titles until she passes Ric Flair's, and then she can have like this whole thing with Rick and be like, haha, I beat you, I have more championships than you. Yeah, but I think this has to be Rhea Ripley's win, because Rhea needs like this momentum to continue, because she won at Mania, and for some reason they've kept her as a heel, and I don't get why. Because it seems that they want us... Because Charlotte Flair's becoming what Roman Reigns was for so long, the Omni Flair, in that she keeps winning. And Rhea was one of those people who lost to her when she didn't need to. They shouldn't have done that. So the Rhea Ripley-Charlotte Flair match, Rhea should have retained at last year's WrestleMania. But she didn't, and things went to shit. Because Rhea Ripley disappeared for ages. But yeah, she's back, she's a women's champion, and I think, yeah, either a good ending... There are two good endings of this match. One is Rhea pins Charlotte to solidify her and enact revenge from last year, or Alexa Bliss turns up.
Thanks for listening to Radio Newark. If you have a local business, why don't you sponsor this skill by emailing sales@radionewark.co.uk? Come back soon.
That was... Yes. I shouldn't say that name or else that will happen. Yes. What was I on about? Yes. Mrs. Bliss, I'll just say that, and her little thing, Lily, the puppet, weird puppet, they could, like, spooky shenanigans, take Charlotte out the match, and then Rhea pins Asuka. That could happen, but I think that they'll go with, I'd like them to go with the Rhea Charlotte thing, the Rhea pin Charlotte. But, yeah, either way, Rhea wins. Sorry about the thing. It happens to many wrestling people who mention her name. Next is Bianca Belair versus Bayley, which is for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I think it was probably the most predictable match on the card, in that Bianca's definitely winning. Because I doubt they'll drop it to Bayley this early, because they invested so much in making Bianca Belair versus Sasha the main event of night one. And if they were to squander this just to kind of put it on Bayley... I mean, I like Bayley. Bayley's a good character. She's doing great things. But I don't think this is the right time to start swapping and, like, give it to Bayley, then Bianca gets it back. I don't think this is the right time. Maybe SummerSlam, we have a title change and she gets it back at Hell in a Cell because she gets that annoyed. Because they need to bring Hell in a Cell back to a proper, like, not a gimmick pay-per-view, just like you need a Hell in a Cell. Like, Undertaker versus Mankind, for example. That rivalry got so intense that they couldn't do it any other way, so they had to put them in the cage. And that's how that happened. Then they haven't done that recently. They've just kind of gone, oh yeah, it's October, you're in a Hell in a Cell. What? You don't need it, Fiend and Seth Rollins. You're going anyway. Yeah, it doesn't always work. The women's matches in Hell in a Cell are always great. It's always the men's ones that are not as good for some reason. Yeah, but for this, Bianca Belair to win. Hopefully that Sasha doesn't interfere, because I think it's too soon for a Sasha interference to cost her. That could happen later. Unless it's like, Sasha could come back and win Money in the Bank. Potentially. Yes. That's a good idea. Sasha wins Money in the Bank, and then Bianca's always worried, like, oh, is she going to take the title off me? And then, yeah. It'll be interesting. Or unless Sasha gets Money in the Bank, and she takes it to Rhea Ripley, and then wins the title there, and Sasha goes on. Then at Survivor Series, you rekindle the Sasha-Bianca feud, in that, because they'll have, SmackDown versus Raw, so you'll have, and maybe NXT, so you could bring in Raquel Gonzalez, but you'll have that feud with Bianca and Sasha already there, in that Sasha will try and stop the hair from whapoosh, and, like, hitting her ribs. Yeah, but Bianca Belair to win, surely. They can't do anything else. The next two matches, I don't know which one will be the main event. I'm picking my own main event. I don't know which one it's going to be, because they haven't announced it yet. But the next match, so won't be the main event, is Bobby Lashley, the MVP, the manager, who is the champion, versus Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman. This is for the WWE Championship. Now, at Mania, everyone expected Drew to win because it was in front of a big crowd. Everyone kind of was like, oh yeah, they're going to wait till Drew gets to Mania, big crowd, they'll win it, we'll go away. Stop it, Mr. Google. And then they'd push Drew to the moon. But then they realised Not Bianca Belair. Oh God, what am I about? I'm losing my mind today. Bobby Lashley has had a good title reign since he won it off The Miz. Because he's just been this powerful kind of like figure who just keeps attacking people. And it's just been really, really good. And Braun Strowman's just been kind of put into this because I think Vince thought, oh, he beat Shane and people like that. Let's put him into the title picture. And I think the only reason they put him here is to take the pinfall, because it's Braun Strowman. So, I don't think Braun Strowman is ready for another championship run, considering he's got his train gimmick. Ooh, speaking of trains, the Tamina train pulled out of the station, didn't it? A woo-woo. Good shout out to Cultaholic there. Watch them. Tamina won the Women's Tag Team Championships yesterday. Ooh, hey, first championship in like 9-10 years. Yay. Yeah, but with this, I'm going to go with Bobby. Because I feel like that, again, wishful thinking, but I'm thinking they're going to wait till SummerSlam, which is apparently going to have the next crowds. They're going to have Bobby versus Drew there. And maybe they'll put the title on Drew there. Perhaps have it in England if they can. I doubt they can, because SummerSlam will be in August, and I'm not sure if America will be allowed here by August, so I don't know. But yeah, Lashley versus Drew at SummerSlam. So perhaps in this match, Lashley pins Strowman and in some way screws Drew out of the match. So like maybe Drew hits the Claymore on Strowman. Bobby hits Drew with the spear, knocks him out, and then kind of like Braun's on the floor. Bobby pins, Bobby wins. Some people think that like Shelton and Cedric will get back in and like try and rejoin the Hurt Business. I'd like that to happen. If that could happen, yes, but Vince doesn't like them, so I guess I don't think that'll ever happen. They'll never put them near the title picture again. They'll just go back on main event or chase the 24/7 title, and it's a shame. Or they'll have their own feud. Probably not, actually, because I doubt Vince will want them on the card. Unless that's on the kickoff show. Because from what this looked like, there isn't a kickoff show. Yeah. Now, the final match on the card, which I think is the hardest one to choose from, is Mr. Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief, versus Cesaro with Paul Heyman in Roman Reigns' corner. This is for the Universal Championship. Now, everyone, since Daniel Bryan was banished from SmackDown, it's kind of elevated Cesaro to the main event scene. And everyone has wanted this for however long. Since he became a single star, around WrestleMania 30. People wanted him, main event title, he wins, because everyone wants Cesaro versus Brock Lesnar. I'd love that. But, Roman is on such a good run, I don't know, really. Because, again, the people at Cultaholic who I'll watch, again, one of them said it's a lose-lose situation. Because if Roman wins, then it squandered Cesaro's main event push. If Cesaro wins, it kind of ruins Roman's character because he's lost too soon, I'd argue. But I'd like it. I'd argue I'd prefer the Cesaro one because it's easier to fix Roman Reigns' character than it is to re-push Cesaro, because Vince McMahon has hated Cesaro, for some reason hated him for so long. And this is the first time that he's been put here. And so I'm saying Cesaro to win. Because I know it's wishful thinking, but I do want it. Because Cesaro, wonderful wrestler. But I don't know. That's the thing. Is that it's the most difficult prediction. Because it was at Mania, I suggested Daniel Bryan was going to win because I assumed it would be his last Mania. But it looks like it was his last Mania, and he went out on a loss. And to be fair, most wrestlers go out on a loss in their retirement anyway. But I think with this, Cesaro should win. Roman will definitely get it back. Again, maybe it's SummerSlam. And we get Cesaro, we get a good few months of maybe Cesaro versus Seth for the title at Money in the Bank. What's between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam? Cesaro versus somebody in Extreme Rules match, maybe Shinsuke Nakamura. That'd be nice because they had their big... Yeah, but then it'd be face versus face. Who cares? Maybe Cesaro's you're my friend. How about... You've never had the title. I'd like you to have a title. Come on. Have a wrestling match. That's a boxing match. Yeah. So, yeah, Cesaro to win. But... Also, I think that there'll be a nice little character piece because Paul Heyman used to have Cesaro as one of his... Cesaro used to have him as a manager. So they might have a little... Paul Heyman might turn, but he won't. Because he's too scared of Roman Reigns. Because if you look at the way Paul Heyman looks at Roman, he looks scared of him. It's weird. When Paul Heyman looked at Brock Lesnar, there wasn't really a scared, he was quite confident. Because he kind of knew Brock Lesnar was going to win. But I think he's scared of Roman because he knows that Roman could quite easily turn on Paul. If Paul wasn't up to scratch and doing as good as he liked. We're at the Royal Rumble when when Paul went, keys in the thing, I can't unlock this handcuff, so the referee had to go, 6. You both still down. And then after a bit, Roman got up and he was like, "Way!" and then carried on. It was stupid. stupid ending to a great match. Yes, so, yeah, Roman Reigns to win that match. And it looks like that is the end of that the matches for WrestleMania Backlash. I think that the next pay-per-view, as I said, I think it's going to be Money in the Bank. That'll be next month, probably. Like June something. June 11th, perhaps. I don't know. No, wait. June 13th, because that's a Sunday. It'll probably be then. But because there is... I don't know. Yeah, that'll probably be my next video. So, I guess that is all from me for WrestleMania Backlash. And I guess I'll see you then. Bye-bye.